Kuzuzangpo, welcome to Bhutan e-learning program. I am Desubnyim Dorje, a teacher at Gedu Higher Secondary School. This lesson is a geography lesson for Key Stage 3 for classes 7 and 8. First thing first, let us now look at what are the things that we will learn together in this lesson. The first thing that we will be looking at is what do you see on the screen? Definition of population. And what is it? Are you reading with me? Okay, good. Then is importance of population study. Okay. Now I am taking little up. What is it in between my two hands? Basic concepts of birth rate, death rate, and natural change. Other thing that we will look in this lesson is what is it on the screen? I can see that is causes of population change. And finally, we will learn about impacts of population change. Dear students, what are you thinking at the moment? Do you think that you will enjoy this lesson? Or otherwise? My dear lovely boys and girls, what comes to your mind when you hear the word population? Did you think for a while? May I define it for you? Okay, let's look at together. Population is total number of men, women, children living in a country in a particular period of time. Did you get my point? Okay, let's move forward. According to Population and Housing Census of Bhutan carried out in 2017. In Bhutan, as of 30th May 2017, Bhutan's total population was 735,553, of which 681,720 people are Bhutanese and 55,833 people are non-Bhutanese. The non-Bhutanese include tourists and those who are on the move on the census day reference. Remember, total number of population will not remain same all the time. It will keep on changing now and then. For example, in 2017, as per the survey carried out by National Statistical Bureau of Bhutan, it was found out that there was around 700,000 people. Whereas in 2019, there was around little more than 700,000. And as per one projection study, population projection study, it was found out that in Bhutan in 2025, there will be around 780,000 people. So it shows that population will keep on changing. It will not be constant. Did you get my point? Now you may be thinking and wondering about all the small things I've been talking about. I was saying that population keeps on changing. What makes population change? May I make you to think for a while? Now, let's look back once again. What is meant by population? Shall we fill in the blanks together? Shall we do it together? Are you ready? Population is total number of and living in a particular period of. Did you get the things right? I know you will. I know you will because you all are great boys and girls. Let's do the second one. Population will not remain every time. What is in the blank? I know you might have figured it out very clearly. Did you get it correct? Great job, buddies. Now, I'm very sure that you might be thinking about so many things when I talked about population and some statistics about population. Now, let us shift ourselves towards more idea. Let us discuss about the factors that change the population. Are you ready then? Okay. The factors that change the population are, what do you see on the screen? What is it? The natural change. And what is on the screen? Migration. Thank you. Very good. You're doing good. And the third factor is, I can see down. What is there? Birth rate. Great. And the last factor that we are going to discuss in this lesson is, what is it? Death rate. So these are the four factors among many factors that change the total number of population living in a place or in a country. Now, if I keep it here, you may say that the geography teacher is bad. Will you? Will you say that? No, I don't doubt at all. Now, let's look in detail. Let's look in detail the four factors that change the population. The four factors are, as I told you, the first one is natural change. What did I say? Yeah, natural change. Let me discuss about it. Okay, now, let me explain the natural change in population. Natural change in population takes place when there is difference between birth rate and the death rate. When the difference between birth rate and the death rate is high, the increase is also high. The rate of increase is also high. For example, the population will grow if the birth rate is higher than the death rate. The population will fall if the death rate is higher than the birth rate. This kind of change is called natural change. What is it? Natural change. This is the first factor that change the population of a country or a place. The second factor is population also change due to migration. What did I say? The population change due to migration. What is migration then? The movement of people from one place to another is called migration. For example, people move from rural area to urban area. In this, the people when the people move from rural area to urban area, population in rural area will go down. Population in urban area will increase. So that makes the population change. The other example is, nowadays people are moving away from the country, and people are also moving inside the country. This is also a factor for change in population. Similarly, people move from one place to another place within the country. That is called internal migration, and it also leads to change in population within the country. You got my idea. Are you happy with me? Or are you angry with me looking at my face on the screen? Okay, I know you will be happy. I'm very sure you will be happy. Okay, now another important factor that changed the population of a place is birth rate. First, let's understand the meaning of birth rate. Birth rate refers to the total number of live births. Live births. Right? Baby. Okay, let me repeat. Birth rate refers to total number of live births for every 1,000 people for a year. Okay, now let's look at the final one, the final factor that changed the population. The final factor that changed the population is death rate. Death rate refers to the total number of deaths for every 1,000 people in a year. Which means from 1,000 people, if around 70 people dies, then the death rate is 70 people out of 1,000 people in 1 year. Okay, are you all enjoying my lesson? Let's recall what we have learned in previous lessons. Shall we do it then? Let's look at the factors affecting the change in population. Can you see this? Natural change. Great job. Then, what is it? Migration. Good. And birth rate. Yeah, great. You're doing great. And the last factor is death rate. You're doing great. Now let's ask ourselves. Who am I? Ask to yourself, and I'm asking to myself. My answer is, I'm a teacher, I'm a father, I'm a man and a human, and I'm a part of population. You might have your own answer. Did you think about it? Okay. Let me ask again. Let's ask ourselves again. What do I do every day? What do I do every day? Did you ask yourself? I asked myself. And my answers are: I teach children, I raise my kids, I serve my parents, and I serve my country. At the same time, I produce waste, cut down trees, burn fires, and drive car. Now, what did you understand from my questions? Think for some time. I know you might be connecting the dots here. Think for some time. I am a man and I am a part of population, and my work impacts the people and places around me. People, it impacts people and places around me. Basically, we are going to discuss about impact of population. There are positive impacts and there are negative impacts. Now, let's look at positive impacts and negative impacts of population. Before I talk about negative, let's talk about positive impacts. Growth of population helps in boosting the economy of the nation. Growing population pressures society to innovate in order to better serve the masses. For example, high yield crops were developed to increase food production largely in response to growing populations. The third point here is positive impact of population is it helps in making developmental policies. The fourth point is it can help the countries develop better healthcare and medicine, strong economic plans, and other social improvements that keep pace with population growth will and it will thrive. Whereas, on the other hand, as said, coin has two sides. Now let's look at the other, that is negative impacts of population. Rapid growth of population will lead to many social problems like housing problems, squatter settlement, sewage problem, poor health, sanitation, congestion, starvation, and unemployment problems. And it also increases in public expenditure and so on, which will put pressure on natural resources like exhaustion of natural resources like minerals, soil, water, air, and forest. The rapid growth of population also has adverse effect on natural environment like environment degradation, pressure on existing natural resources and land fragmentation. It will also lead to air, land and water pollution. It also leads to ecological imbalance. And finally, it pressures on basic amenities. So these are the positive and negative impacts of population. Okay, until now we have been looking at definition of population, impact of population, and factors affecting change in population. I know you might have enjoyed the lesson, but with enjoyment comes the responsibility to explore more about the lesson. Shall we explore little bit on our own so that we can prepare ourselves for this topic in deeper understanding. The first thing that you need to keep in mind here is no one is looking after you whether you're doing the work or not. And I think the honesty plays the best policy. Honesty is the best policy that you need to remember. So now I am making you explore on few questions. You can see the question on the screen and I would like to read that. Evaluate at least three impacts of using natural resources by population. You, you need to evaluate and write it in a piece of paper or anywhere you want, but not on the walls, huh? Not on the walls. And the second question is suggest at least three ways to prevent the negative impact of population growth on natural resources. And the third one is purposefully kept to make you think. And this is what would happen if the population of the nation keeps on increasing. These are the three questions that you need to reflect. I am signing off. Thank you very much.